Gurubhyo Namaga students, this is Mrs. Sri Vidya from Pon Vidyashram. We were seeing about animal fibers for the past 3 sessions. Let's have the quick recap of the sessions. We saw about the importance of clothes, what is fiber, the 2 types of fiber, natural fiber and man-made fiber. Man-made fiber which we are going to discuss in class 8. Natural fibers we had been discussing from last year, like natural fibers obtained from plants, about cotton, jute, hemp, rami, we discussed in the previous class. And this year we are discussing about the animal fibers, about the silk and wool in detail in this chapter. We had seen about the wool which is obtained from sheep. Not only from sheep, it is obtained from goat, yak, rabbit, camel. We have many breeds which give us wool. And we saw about what is rearing wool obtaining countries in India. And we saw the wool production. What are the steps that is involved in wool production? That is, from how can you obtain this wool from sheep's hair gets converted into wool. That is, we will see the steps. Let's have the quick recap of the steps. Rearing. Sheep are reared mainly for their wool. They are mainly reared in areas with low rainfall. Shearing. Once a sheep develops a thick coat of hair, it is shaved for getting wool. The removal of wool from a sheep is called shearing. We use manually this shearing method, or we use some machines like shearer or bioclip method in order to undergo shearing. Scoring. The sheared hair is moved through tubs filled with soapy water to remove dust, dirt and grease. This is called as scoring. And the next step is sorting. In this process, the wool is sorted on the basis of length, hair, color, texture and the ease with which it can be dyed. Removing burr. Burrs are soft fluffy fibers in wool. These are removed manually. Dyeing. The natural color hair of the sheep is white, brown or black. The sheared wool is dyed in different colors. Next is making yarn. The wool is straightened, combed and spun into yarn after spinning. The wool is either woven or knitted. The next is drying. In this process, containers of wool are put through rollers to squeeze out as much water as possible. Then the wool is weighed and packed into bales. The bales are transported to the mills where they are processed further. What are the health hazards in the wool industry? That is, the main is anthrax. Let's see about the silk. Silk is obtained from the cocoons of silkworm. The silk moth lives on the leaves of mulberry plants. The rearing and management of silk is called as sericulture. Types of silk. Different types of silkworm produce different types of silk in terms of luster and texture. For example, tussar silk, moga silk, kosa silk are produced by different types of silk moth. Mulberry silk is the most common silk moth. Then one important fact file here is it takes about 110 silkworm cocoons to make one good silk tie. The length of thread making the cocoon may range between 600 meters and 1500 meters. Silk is an animal fiber produced by silkworm. Silk fibers are soft and lustrous. The rearing of silkworm is called as sericulture. Silkworm. Silkworms are not worms actually, but the larvae or caterpillars which hatch from the egg of the silk moth, an insect in the larva stage. The silkworm grows in size and becomes a pupa. In the pupa stage, it weaves a net to hold itself. The net is made of protein and gets hard by the contact of air, and the covering is known as cocoon. The silk fiber is also obtained by cocoon. The female silk moth lays about 300 to 400 eggs at a time. The eggs hatch and the caterpillars or silkworms emerge. This is called the larval stage. The silkworm feeds on mulberry leaves. The silkworm secretes fine filaments from two glands on its head. The filaments are made up of a protein that hardens to form silk fibers when exposed to hair. Different types of silkworm yield different type of silk like tussar, muga and kosa silk. The most common silk moth is the mulberry silk moth. Actually, the scientific name of the silkworm is Bombyx murray. What do you mean by a filament? A long, thin, thread-like structure is called as filament. The silkworm deposits filaments in layers around its body through finger of 8 movements of head, forming a structure called the cocoon. The silkworm takes 3 to 7 days to prepare the cocoon, formed by about 20 to 39 concentric layers of a single thread. Inside the cocoon, the silkworm enters the second stage of its life, called the pupa stage, and then the third and final stage to become an adult moth. Silk threads are obtained from the cocoon of the silkworm. Processing of silk. The process of obtaining silk from silk moth involves rearing of silkworms, reeling and dyeing. This is followed by spinning and weaving. Let us discuss about this reeling of silk in the upcoming slides. So, when we talk about the life cycle of silk moth, the adult, how it becomes the adult moth. The history of silk. Silk was discovered in China around 3500 BC. Silk became a prized possession because of its fine quality and luster. Originally, it was used by emperors only. It was through trade that silk spread to other parts of the world over a period of time. Silk was a staple item of trade during ancient times. Due to this, the ancient trade routes which link China to other parts of the world are called Silk Route. As per historians, silk was produced in India also. Proof of use of silk during the Indus Valley civilization has also been found. So, how the eggs become the adult moth? First, the female moth lays tiny eggs. It comes to the larva stage. The eggs hatch into caterpillars. Caterpillars feed on mulberry leaves for about 3 to 4 weeks. Each of them then spins a cocoon around itself, and it becomes a cocoon stage. So now let's see about the rearing of silkworms. The female silk moth lays eggs. Eggs are stored over a clean cloth or paper strips. The eggs are warmed to a suitable temperature. The eggs hatch into larvae called caterpillars or silkworms. The silkworms are kept in bamboo trays and feeds on mulberry leaves and grows in size. In the previous slide, we saw the mulberry leaves. After 30 to 40 days, the silkworm stops eating and begins to spin cocoons. Cocoons gets hardened because of exposure to air. Inside the cocoon, the silkworm develops into silk moth. That is, the caterpillar changes into a pupa inside the cocoon, and then it becomes the adult moth. So, once again I say about the fact 5. India is the world's second largest producer of silk, following the China. What do you mean by reeling of silk? The cocoons are collected and kept in sunlight or boiled or exposed to steam. The silk fibers separate out. The process of taking out the silk thread from the cocoon is called reeling. Reeling is done by machines. The silk is so expensive nowadays, we go in for artificial silk called as a rayon. This also looks like a silk texture. The next, let's see about, once again we'll see what do you mean by sericulture. What do you mean by sericulture is the rearing of silkworms for silk production is called sericulture. Even nowadays, some people are not using silk because if you want to produce one silk saree, you need hundreds of thousands of millions of silkworm to be killed. So people are not using this silk. Some people are not using silk. Can you see this flow chart? How the process of silk takes place. The healthiest moths are chosen for breeding and laying the eggs. The larvae that emerge once the eggs hatch are fed in the mulberry leaves. They continue feeding for 20 to 35 days. Then it becomes the cocoon. When the silkworm is about 35 days old, it starts spinning a cocoon around itself. This process takes about 3 to 7 days to complete. The pupa inside the cocoons are killed by putting the cocoons in hot water, which kills the worms as well as loosens the filaments. The next, it goes to the next stage called as one end of the silk thread is passed through an eyelet and the thread reeled onto the peel. And single filaments are washed, dried and twisted to form yarn. The texture of the fabric depends on the manner of twisting. Now let's see the health hazards in sericulture. Some of the health hazards are handling of dead worms with bare hands contributes to infection and illness. Workers generally need to dip their bare hands into the hot water and judge by touch whether the fine threads of silk have loosened enough to be wound. This causes blisters and open wounds or injuries leading to infection. Standing almost continuously for about 12 to 16 hours a day, reeling the fine silk threads may lead to health disorders like back pains, spine and vision related problems. Vapors from boiling cocoons and diesel fumes from machines may lead to respiratory diseases such as asthma and bronchitis. Continuous exposure to the noise made by spinning and winding machines and looms where the fabric is woven may result in hearing disorders. And you can read this discovery of silk which is given in the box. Now let's see some keywords in this chapter. Shearing. Process of removal of the fleece from an animal is called shearing, which I was recapping in the previous sessions. Scoring. The process of removing dirt, dust and grease from the sheared hair is called scoring. Sericulture. Rearing of silkworms for silk production is called sericulture. Then filature. The process of taking out filaments from the cocoon is called reeling or filature. Now let's have the summary of this chapter. Clothing material or fabrics are woven from fibers. Wool is obtained from sheep, camel, llama, alpaca also belongs to the camel family, goat and even rabbits, Angora rabbits. Shearing, scoring, grading or sorting, dyeing, drying and making of yarn. All these are different stages involved in wool production. So let's remember, you can do this, fill in the blanks for your reference of this chapter. Hope everybody would have understood this chapter. Thank you, children. Let's have the next interesting chapter in the next session. Thank you, children.